Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment, people. And we're going to move on to part two, Mia the Voice. And we're going to really sort of diagnose everything that she says and really look at it. And like I said, EP really did ask the right questions.
A lot of people have a lot to say about him.
This was a bit don't know.
How long has she been known, like a lot in Tenerife and stuff?
Interesting question.
Long story, but he's known Lucy about 5 years now.
5 years. So Lucy would have been, what is she, 19 now? So she would have been 13 when she knew Luggy. And what does she mean, Mia? It's a long story. I don't get that. I mean, we could go down a lot of avenues on that one. It's a long story. Can Streamliners elaborate on that? It's very strange.
For reasons, probably bad reasons.
Oh shit. How people, if you act, I'm doing this one, it's allowed to be put out. I'm just joking. But seriously. How?
It does make you wonder, why would someone sort of old enough to be her father, or even older than that, would befriend someone so young? That's, quite bizarre, isn't it, at the end of the day? But we saw some of the crew, your Ayubs, your Rockies, at the end of the day, befriend young people. We know that they're being used and abused at the end of the day. But one thing we didn't know is about, obviously, their passports being taken off them, and that's a part of control as well at the end of the day. And that makes sense, because you do get that in the gang world. I've heard it before.
It's like, how is people, I don't know, it's like, at least in Norway, people don't like people like him. So how is he still doing his thing? Like, I really don't get it.
There is footage of Jay, yeah. What happened?
I've always said that.
He's also
I've
on
always
the
said that.
web as well.
Yeah,
I heard, I didn't see it, people, but there was a dark web video out there of technically Jay being abused. And I do think that, what was it, that Irish guy who had that YouTube channel, basically, I think he was 100% correct in what he said. He also, Ali got sent that video by him as well. And like I said, she said it wasn't clear, but she said it, it possibly could be Jay. And she, don't forget, she sent that video into the police, basically. And like she does anything important, she sends that in, but nothing came back of it. They never really asked any questions about it, to be honest with you.
Well, I've heard about that before, but is it? I don't know. Some people maybe need to check if they can find out.
I did move up before year 7, yes. So he does work for Dylan, yes.
So obviously this Dylan, we know that it is Brandon's brother. So what is, I mean, she's put that out there at the end of the day. So what is Dylan's age? What, late 20s, early 30s, probably 5-6 years older than what Brandon, let's just say sort of mid to late 20s, should we say as well. And she said, why would Luggy be working for Dylan? That's quite bizarre, because obviously they're different in age. Yeah, you get business partners, but why would, what would they have in common? Clubs? Bars? Because we know that Dylan had run bars before and had possibly got one in Tenerife as well.
See, this Dylan is Brandon's brother, Mr. Big Time. And isn't it funny that basically we only really started delving into him later on in the case, because like I said, he's always in the background, obviously pulling the strings. And like I said, I didn't realise he was that big up the chain. I would have thought he was in the middle, but like I said, I think he's quite high up in the game, especially if the people mentioned are actually working for him as the middleman, or should we say enforcer.
Is this? Could this be M? Could this be the guy who's at the top of the chain? Who knows? At the end of the day, but like I said, I mean, his name's been mentioned a few times, and it's not one that's really sort of really been discussed big time.
Yeah, it's the thing that you've talked about.
No, I'm in Tenerife. I've been here for the past 3 years now.
So if she comes and goes or spends quite a lot of time in Tenerife, from the UK to Tenerife, she must know a few people out there and must know the queue in what goes on.
Jay weren't at the bottom of the cliff from day one. No, he was put there when England was playing.
Yeah, was it at the night time? Yes, they come at the night time and they put him in.
Yeah.
I said this all along. That's why they closed off the mountain, because they didn't have anybody there to record.
Agreed.
Anybody seeing it, and then they go in when everybody is doing something and it's going to be commotion, and it's not in the it was actually being brought out. So
All reported to the Spanish police, but they didn't even want to listen to me or Pippa about it.
So it's interesting to see what report that she actually put in. I mean, what does it detail? I mean, no one's ever discussed that. And like I said, I think that should be brought to light, what a report was about.
I just want to say one thing. I think that Maruba being gone for so long and possibly going to Morocco, and what Mama D said about the freezer, you know, basically they could have been, it was Brad that could have been looking in at Jay in the freezer to keep him, in some ways, to, you know, to keep his body as fresh as they could. At the end of the day, this is what I think. I think that Maruba was something big in this case, and this is why I think a lot of people wanted to shut us down from there.
Yeah.
and it's why if this is like related like this, it should be Interpol and Europol should be contacted, because it's and stuff like that. Organized crime, all of this bullshit.
Chris is involved.
Chris Tenerife.
I mean, to be honest with you, how does she knows all these names? And like I said, she's confidently speaking away. She's aware of what she's saying. She's talking calmly, slowly. You can tell she's a little bit sort of hesitant because of what people might say to her, that the things she has said as well. But she definitely knows something.
The Wall of Shame, I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
I think it is.
so So this Jonathan Akanda has nothing to do with anything, or?
I can't see where Duncan asked the question.
He say. So did you and Pippa try to make reports to Spanish police?
We have 5 times I've been told to go away with it.
Wow, that says it all about this case, because there's no way that they would want the truth to get out. And I've always said that it's educated us all what happened on that island. If you look at the missing people going back to basically the 1980s onwards, I've done some videos on that, so please go and watch them. It tells you what horrendous stories. I remember a doctor in one of the early 1985 videos of a Brit going out there at the end of the day, and basically the family were told that he got his basically throat cut for robbing a rug dealer out there, and there were so many bodies that were unrecognized, and like I said, the police or the the government involved did know who these bodies belonged to. And I think this has been going on for years, and I think it really should be put to people's attention as a matter of an emergency. And basically we know that Duncan have said the same as well. It's absolutely awful.
Not me, forgot you can't. I'm sorry.
Sam Walker is involved, hence why he got attacked.
When he was in Puerto Banús.
How the hell would she know that? We know obviously this guy gets himself into a lot of trouble. He's got a lot of connections. At the end of the day, he tends to like that kind of life. But how would she know that? How would she know that? Where would she get that information from? That's some serious stuff, because like I said, he did come out and said, look, Jay Slater is, I've had nothing to do with it. And it was weird why he came out and said what he said. I thought it was odd.
Sam Walker's name mentioned again. Don't forget, he was the one that Jay said he nicked some rugs, and that's why he got shot at the end of the day. Okay, and that was going around in the early days at the end of the day, where a lot of people, even I thought that may have happened at the end of the day, but I don't think it did. And like I said, I think that was a bit cover up at the end of the day. But isn't it kind of weird how these people just come out the blue and said that they were no way involved, but they heard what happened to Jay Slater?
Yeah.
Where's
your nose?
Or not in Puerto Banús, but is.
I believe she would do if she was out there as early as what we think. That would tell us a hell of a lot, to be honest with you. And like I says, what this young lady pinpoints, Mia, I think there's a lot of truth in it.
It's very close in San Pedro de Tendara. It's very close to Puerto Banús, 5 minutes maybe maximum.
No, me and Pippa are different people. Me and Pippa have everything, like photos, videos, conversations, telephone conversations, everything.
I gotta admit, I would like to hear those. I would personally like to hear those conversations, or get them over to Duncan and EP as well. That would be interesting. I think this is kind of crucial. If you've got videos and conversations to tell us something else, if something sinister happened, and basically Debbie can't talk, I think this is one of the reasons why Debbie and Warren, especially Warren talking to Wax, has allowed us to sort of continue talking about the case, because they think that there's something sinister, but they can't talk due to threats. I truly believe that is big time at the end of the day. And the last thing Debbie wants is something happening to her other son.
One of the problems we've got at the moment is that obviously Mia's not come out and really backed up what she's said. Maybe she's been threatened as well, or maybe she's been told not to say anything more by her friends or family. Who knows at the end of the day? But once you've said, obviously that, you know, someone's got videos and basically messages. Yeah, we believe some of those messages were actually leaked out there in the Jay Slater case, possibly very, very early on, as we know. Like I said, and a lot of the sleuths have those messages, or people were sending things up to us. But like I said, because we haven't seen these videos or messages, we've seen some of the messages. But like I said, some of the messages you can't really see where they're from because they're covered up, maybe to protect other people as well. But like I said, she needs to obviously back this stuff up with these photos and with these messages and with these with the video she has got. It'll tell us a different story. But until you've got those things, you can't really prove anything. Even though the messages has given us a sort of story which we thought from day one was a bit odd.
For her.
If some of that's something you would like to share with me, and with both of us or something, so we get the gist of what is going on, and then it's where we go from there is very much more easy when you have two people that is 100% sure what actually is going on, you know. And then
I think he's dead right there at the end of the day, because obviously this will tell us a different story. I've always said, as soon as these documentaries come out, there are people who are gonna basically, who's still got a heart, who are going to say, look, this didn't happen at the end of the day, but you've gone this far. I always think you've gone this far, you might as well go all the way and tell us the rest of the story, or release these videos or give them to Duncan, because obviously the police doesn't want to know, basically, because obviously it happened in Tenerife. But like I said, if there's evidence of something happening to Jay, then it has to be looked into. And this is one of the reasons why I think Debbie didn't say, look, basically, Marvin or Wax or Mamadi, stop talking about the case, because she knew that there was another side to this. And we would basically, her soldiers out there, technically. Do you know what I mean? In some ways, I don't blame her at the end of it. And I hope, basically, with the money from she earns, that she moves away and lives a peaceful life at the end of the day. Because, like I said, she's in her 50s now. At the end of that, I can understand in a way why she wanted peace after losing a son at the end of the day. But like I said, personally, I probably would have fought to basically got a criminal more, but that she has her reasons at the end of the day. But I'm not going to basically diss her on my channel at the end of the day. It is what it is. She made that decision for her own reasons and family reasons at the end of the day. But I do think that basically the money helps, should I say. But like I said, that's another story.
we didn't really do any publicly, but we try to do that, and then we can do some stuff with that, because it's more simple when you have people on his team and my team and doing this stuff. There's going to be people fighting for something, and I know a lot of people need something validated, like they say, well, like people say this and this and this, but it never comes to anything. Like she said to me, so I never said this, but she said to me she was going to send the proof, but it's like, I understand it must be stressful and all of this, so it's like, when everything is ready, people will trust you, I think, not push it. And then,
Yeah.
but at some point, I think people just need to know, like some people that you trust, like I said to people as well, if it's me, Duncan, who is, and show them, and get, like, so we kind of know, and then it's more easy for everybody to do something then. And then we also find stuff that we can maybe show to other people, like the people, the public, so they also know. But I think to get it off you, get like more people to helping you, is use me or him or anybody that you can find in.
Also find it interesting, you know, who was the person? Was it Pippa at the end of the day, who videos out there of the beach? We knew a couple of the early beach videos were fake. There was a couple, and even Ali Harris was.
I do believe that there were sleuths who were sent information on this case, which was legit. Even I was getting a lot of information from the Maruba of someone who lived in Tenerife that was very afraid, but they said they've got to do it because, like I said, they believe something bad happened to Jay.
That one of them was real and one of them was fake. I think there was about 3 videos, but one of the last ones where we were all on the beach, that was basically a true effect. So someone must have been videoing what was going on. And if you remember the eyewitness, he definitely said there was lots of people on the beach and something was going down, and Jay was carried off on someone's shoulder, and then we never heard from that guy again at the end of that. I think he was threatened, and I think people knew who he was because he said he goes to Tenerife often.
Right, I'm going to leave it there, people, because like I said, I'm going to do other parts. I think we've got to really listen to what this Mia, the voice, has said. I do think she knows a hell of a lot, to be honest. She knows a hell of a lot of the people that are involved. And it sounds like to me, she doesn't think a great deal of them either, who these people are and what they do. And she says that basically she has to be careful what she says. You know, I wonder whether basically EP can actually get her back into the show and just go a bit deeper with her and what she does know. That'll be very, very interesting. I know that she's come up with quite a lot, but it is insightful, to be honest with you, because this tells us a completely different story than what we've heard from the documentary. Let me know your thoughts, people. And don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Entertainment as we march on, people. Thank you.